UFC Featherweight prospect TJ Laramie. What's going on, TJ? How's life right now in Las Vegas?
Not bad, man. It's good. Just chilling.
All right, man. I wanted to get into the first thing is securing that contract with the win over Daniel Swain. When you look back at that performance, is it a little bittersweet that you didn't get to show a lot of your development?
It is what it is. I was trying to keep it on the feet the majority for the fight, but he kind of gave me that look on the ground. So when I followed him to the ground, he went for his. I felt it was kind of a good display on my end, just because I went to where he was the best and still dominated there too. So I wasn't too disappointed.
Yeah. After the fight, in the post-fight interview, you said that you weren't really in that much trouble, but it seemed like you were in trouble. You know what I mean? He made it look like it.
Yeah, I was not. I was never really panicking at all at any point. I've been grappling with great grapplers for a long time now, and like I said, if I felt like I was in any sort of danger, I would have been definitely sort of trying to get out of there a lot quicker than I was.
Did you notice anything about his movement, or just did you hear anything while you were on the ground that showed that he was injured?
Honestly, I didn't feel like he was very strong. Maybe that was it, but I felt like once I got over his best attribute, I kind of defeated him more mentally than anything. And then from that point on, I'm sure he assumed it was just going to be two more rounds of whatever I was able to put out that round, and he kind of just gave in.
All right. Now, before we talk about your UFC debut, I wanted to go all the way back to 2015, your pro debut. You flew all the way to Japan to compete for Pancrase. Very unique situation compared to most fighters, because they debut pretty much in their own country or even just in their regional promotion. But you went all the way over there. You got the win. Did you have any culture shock when you were there? And just talk about the experience.
Japan was awesome for me just because, anytime I've ever been to Asia, it's always been a good experience for me just because for me, I like the culture shock. I like to be somewhere where it doesn't feel anywhere like where I'm from originally, So that was an exciting part for me. And then the whole Pancrase experience, it's like a legendary organization. It's been in the MMA game since the beginning. And it was I mainly debuted there because I was too young to debut in North America. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, the Japanese people and the whole country itself was pretty cool.
So you fought in the Contender Series, but in Pancrase, it's just as quiet, man. You got to experience that off the bat.
Yeah, it is. There's until the fight's done, there's not really too much cheering or clapping or nothing like that. So, yeah, it was very similar. Very similar.
Do you remember anybody from that card?
The only person I remember was this guy named Andy Main, because he was on The Ultimate Fighter back in the day and he was fighting on the same card.
Well, you were supposed to be part of a reality show over there. Did that ever happen?
Yeah, it was called Fight Exchange. It aired on the Super Channel in North America. I'm not really sure the details about it, but yeah.
And how was that experience of this Fight Exchange?
It was weird just because having the cameras there all the time and kind of going by somebody else's schedule, you know what I mean? So it wasn't the best experience on that end because there's they kind of take you to things they want you to do for the camera, shit like that. So yeah, it wasn't a terrible experience. I mean, the reason I got to debut early and to get an experience in Japan was because of the show, but the filming portion of it wasn't my favorite.
You get a quick turnaround around 5 weeks. Did you plan on coming back so quick after getting that contract?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really plan it. I just really liked the matchup, so I was hoping more for November, early December, or something like that. But I was pretty determined to get at least one fight in this year, though. So, but I got it offer quick enough to where I didn't really get too out of shape, which was good. I'm still pretty sharp from the last fight, and the stylistic matchup between my previous opponent and this one are super similar. So once I kind of looked up Minner a little more, it was a no-brainer to take the fight because I felt like I'd pretty much already trained for a similar opponent. If anything, he's just a tad bit smaller than Daniel Swain.
With such a short camp, what is the process that you take to prepare yourself?
Mainly it's just staying sharp, like not too much hard sparring or anything too hard, because I don't feel like I'm out of shape. You know what I mean? So training sessions are more sharp, shorter, nothing like too long and drawn out, and just making weight. That's it.
Minner, he's good on the ground. Do you just focus a lot of grappling for this camp?
I mean, I'm not too like. There's not really anybody who's grappling where I feel like I really have to focus, because I myself, I feel like I'm a great grappler, especially for MMA. I feel like I do a lot of damage on top. So if someone's comfortable on their back and you make them uncomfortable in the position that they're most, you know what I mean? I feel like that's when things really start to go downhill for them. I feel like you've seen that in my last fight. So, I mean, Minner can try to sub me off his back, but, I mean, that's not a great position to be in for MMA in general. So it's a place where you can take a lot of damage and not really win a fight on the points. If you're just trying to go for a submission, I'm sure it's a great spot, but the chances of that happening are slim to none. So
where have you been splitting your time over there in Vegas for training?
Just been training a lot. I brought my brother here, so he's been helping me train a lot for this fight. And then the UFC PI, we've been doing sessions there with my brother. And then 10th Planet and Extreme Couture.
All right, with the PI, and utilizing that and the coaches and the staff, what adjustments have you made from the advice that they gave you?
I mean, basically the same thing. It's a little bit too soon to make any drastic changes in anything. Basically what they said. So just kind of almost do what I've been doing. Kind of just focus on getting my weight down. That's about it.
You have a pretty good understanding of Minner. He's very, very similar to Swain. But what unique thing or aspect does he bring to the matchup, you feel?
He's going to be slightly more offensive when it comes to wrestling versus Swain, where he kind of doesn't really utilize his offensive wrestling as much. But Minner is going to attack my neck a lot more than Swain would. But other than that, they're almost identical. I feel like Swain's a lot better striker than Minner, but Minner's a little bit more unpredictable on the feet. So it's with a guy like that, you never really know 100% what version of them you're going to get on fight night. So I feel like within the first minute, I'll get a good idea of what kind of fight it's going to be.
What version of you are we going to get on your UFC debut?
You're definitely going to get a better version than the last one. I always come better than the previous. And I feel like my last fight, I was so nervous just because it was just the opportunity, not just the opportunity, but just the fact that fighting in a dead silent gym where you can only hear coaches talking, you know what I mean? It's actually, it's like an eerie feeling, especially on the Contender Series. You don't get your name announced. You don't get any of that. It's just ready, fight. So I feel like because I've had that experience now, I feel like I'm even more ready for this fight, just based on having fought so soon. I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable in that situation.
So basically you're saying that since you have that Contender Series experience, that the octagon jitters, there is none.
Yeah, I don't feel like there. If anything, the Contender Series is more pressure in my eyes, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of like a do or die. It's like, I mean, worst comes to worst, you know what I mean? If he does get lucky and beat me, then I get to come back and fight for the UFC and try again, you know what I mean? But that's not going to happen.
All right, September 19th, UFC Fight Night Las Vegas. TJ, thank you so much for the time. Good luck to you, man, and all the best in your debut, man. It's going to be incredible.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP Postfight for all your weekly martial arts news.